I call this meeting to order at exactly 6:27 PM for the curriculum meeting. Today's Tuesday, September the 6th. We do have public comment by Rosalinda Garcia. Audience participation at board meeting is limited to the public comment portion of the meeting designated for the purpose. At all other times during a board meeting, the audience shall not enter into discussion or debate on matters being considered by the board unless requested by the presiding officer. At a board meeting, the board shall hear all persons who desire to make comments to the board. A person who wishes to participate in this portion of the meeting shall sign with the presiding officer or designee before the meeting begins and shall indicate the topic about which they wish to speak. For each topic, a speaker shall be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes to make comments. If more than 10 speakers are signed up to speak at the same topic, an additional speaker on the topic shall be limited to 2 minutes. A person who needs to address the board through a translator should be given 6 minutes to make his or her presentations. Specific factual information and recitation of existing policy may be furnished in response to inquiries, but the board shall not deliberate or decide regarding any subject. Rosalinda Garcia?
Thank you. I
welcome.
want to dispute a public comment from a community member about the interim superintendent's qualifications and also about a tenured board member's comments to the media. There was no comments when Dr. Carmen was hired by sitting board members, as this tenured board member is doing. When Dr. Carmen was hired, I understand he ran or was the leader of a 3A or maybe 2A school district. But the board members voted and they welcomed him. I think he ran the school district was the size of Berta Cavazza here. I would compare it to that. So it's disappointing that this tenured board member doesn't, according to the board policies, you vote and you support the majority's vote. But I'm not saying he doesn't have the right to speak, but that's what the ethics say and read. And also that tenured board member seems to be being absent. All of a sudden, he's not, I requested records as of May 2021, there's been 8 absences already, and that's being absent. Another thing I requested was on this meeting that board member, or this social that the board members had, I requested policy, everybody was invited, it was a social, it wasn't a meeting. It's a meeting if you all start calling each other, I think, if, are you gonna go or blah? No, it was a social. I requested records. I didn't just go by what somebody told me. No, I requested records and it's there. Everybody was invited. The thing is, somebody posted it on Facebook and the community, I mean, it just doesn't look good this with vendors. Another thing that this person said about the board using the word find, I went back to the video. In the newspaper, it doesn't say the board members used that word find. And she said, y'all better be careful what you say. No, you never used the community, the board members did not use that word find. They used word maintenance of effort, they used mismanaged, they used spent incorrectly. But what that lady said, that they said fine, that the district would find, no, the board members didn't use that word. And it's right here in the newspaper article. And it's right here on BBF local for that tenured board member that keeps commenting. I will respect the majority decision as a decision of the board. Like I said, when Dr. Carmen was hired, I didn't hear any comments from any of the board members. So let's move on. Let's work together. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Item 2.1, review and discussion of the clinical education affiliation agreement between San Benito CISD and South Texas Urgent Care Center for the 2022-2023 school year.
I'd like to call up Dr. McGee and Mr. Rosa, who will be walking us through this.
You may take it, okay. Good evening, Board President Moreno, Superintendent Cerrillon, and board members. This is South Texas Urgent Care Center. It's the first time we do an affiliation with them. We're trying to branch out a little bit more, getting more of our health partners to partner with us as far as a health science is concerned. This one falls under the medical assistant program. Basically, what the students will be going in there is working in the back office. There's two things that we have: medical office assistant and medical assistant. The medical assistant, they work in the behind the scenes, also working with with the programming as far as documentation, those kinds of things in there. They're not necessarily working with the doctors or they're working in the office, part of the office staff. Okay, so that's part of the affiliation that we've got with South Texas Urgent Care Center. That's out of Harlingen.
Any questions, board members?
Did the board attorney already look over this agreement? Because we do have some liability issues.
Did the what? I'm sorry?
Did the board attorney look over the agreement?
Well, actually, it was supposed to be, that was the purpose of bringing it in right now.
Okay. And
Okay.
then, is this the first clinic that we're gonna have this kind of partnership with? Or-
With South Texas Urgent Center, yes.
Okay, but we do have some connections with other clinics?
Yes, we do.
Okay, perfect.
Definitely. Most of our health, especially Valley Baptist, the care center, some of our, let me think back. Right now, we're working with the hospitals. That's
So this is
basically-
kind of just adding another site for
Yeah, we're
students
trying
be
to add
able
more.
to-
And that will help us with, as far as the clinicals going, also help us with getting more students out there at one time. Because sometimes, like the hospital, it can only take 10 or 12 students, depending on, how many, we can rotate. So we have to rotate them on a weekly basis. So this way, it'll open up more options.
This is great. Thank you for getting us more of these type of
Mm-hmm.
partnerships. We really appreciate it.
It is.
Question, any more questions? Agenda item.
Oh, I do want to mention one thing. The other thing you'll notice that this one starts in January. We didn't start it at this time. We were working through the affiliation at first and trying to get everything in place. So this will actually take effect in January. Okay, and they want to kind of test us out and see how our kids do as well. So we're kind of going to be under the microscope on both sides. We want to check out how they're doing, and they want to check us out also. So hopefully it's going to be a good partnership with us.
You got some good people. I've worked with Roxana Hernandez, and she's a very good.
She's really good.
She's really, really good.
Yes,
So
she is.
It's a great thing.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Ma'am?
Item 2.2, review and discussion of the agreement between San Benito CISD and the Texas Education Agency, ACT, District Funding Testing Program for the 2022-2023 school year.
So now I'd like to still call up Dr. McGee, and we have Mr. Ramirez and Mr. Salinas that will be assisting us with this portion.
All right. Good evening, Board President Moreno, members of the board, Superintendent Cervillon, and of course, the San Benito District. In front of you, you see our agreement that we would like to present to you all for approval. ACT is another standardized exam that our students do take, have the opportunity to take. Currently, they are able to take it on a weekend, but we are trying to push it where they are able to take it during the school day as well. As you may know, the ACT also measures their college rating and whatnot, and part of the agreement that to be in compliant with is that for us to have our accelerator testers that took Algebra 1 in ninth grade, part of it for us to be in compliance is for us to offer this exam as well. So it's also to be in compliance with TEA as well. So one, gives them another opportunity for them to take this important exam, but more importantly for us to be in compliance with TEA through this agreement.
Do the students already know about ACT?
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yeah, currently we do have it. San Benito
Okay.
San Benito High School is a testing center, so they already take it during the
Okay.
weekends. But we are hoping that this allows for students to take it during the school day, just like we did with the SAT a couple of weeks ago that you guys approved. We're trying to do this with the ACT as well, sir.
Any questions, board members? Thank you. Agenda item.
Thank you.
Item 2.3, review and discussion of the state compensatory SCE resource guide for the 2022-2023 school year. Servillon.
So Dr. McGee is actually going to give us some information because we continue to develop the resource guide at this point. It's in its development stages as we're going to make some adjustments. So Dr. McGee, give us a little bit of background on SCE funding.
Hi, yes. Hello, Board President Moreno, Board of Trustees, Interim Superintendent Ms. Servillon. The State Compensatory Fund is meant to address our at-risk students. There are 14 indicators for our at-risk students, which range from anywhere from being homeless to being pregnant and other concerns. With that, there is specific ways that we can use that funding. Because of ESSER, we had funds that we use for ESSER 3. We want to return to the guide and update it to reflect those expenditures and then bring it before the board next month.
Questions, board members? No? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Board members, committee concerns? Okay. I adjourn this meeting at 6:38.